A new Bakugan has come into the battle, and Drago gets sent to the Doom Dimension. I am Haru Ren. Welcome to my review of episode 7 of Geogan Rising. Now, a huge spoiler warning, there's going to be a lot of spoilers, so if you haven't seen this yet, go back and watch it now. But if you have, sit back, relax, and enjoy my review of Geogan Rising, episode 7. The first part is chasing the Mysterious Bakugan. The Awesome Brothers are shooting a first-person brawling video, and then we get introduced to Bubba Blakely, voiced by Rob Tinkler, who owns a company that fixes anything that Bakugan break during battle, and Lightning doesn't like him. I think that will be a plot point later on.
Then I got my work cut out for me, but this is to make Los Volmos great again!
Oh, good lord. Kravitz enlists the Awesome Brawlers' help to investigate property damage happening during the night by a masked brawler and a dark Bakugan. Uh-oh, that description sounds familiar. What the heck, they gave Lightning a phone? They find the culprit at the school of all places using an Aquos Maxodon. But the main problem with fighting Maxodon is that since the drone is damaged, they can't fight him without damaging the school.
Right, but if the school gets destroyed, we'll get the day off tomorrow.
Dan's facial animation does not match the sarcastic dialogue.
Gun Brawl! Bakugan stand!
Why is the shot Jill there not cracking his voice here? But this guy, okay, you know what, I'm spoiling for you, it's Bubba. He's going out destroying stuff so that he can get people to pay him to repair them. As if that wasn't obvious enough already by the setup of this episode. Anyone could see it a mile away. This is Charlie Chaplin levels of cliche plot points. Lightning hitches a ride on his truck, and his dog camera records his inner monologue, and Lightning fights him at his building.
We heard every single word you said!
You know, this episode seems like filler actually, but I will give them this, they seem to be trying to improve and develop Lightning and Farasco's relationship a bit. I think Bubba would have been made better villain for this episode if his business was going to fail due to Shun's company rebuilding the drone. But here it's just he's a greedy whale. And maybe at the end, since his building is smashed, he could try to put the blame on the Awesome Brawlers Bakugan, but Lightning could present the proof, but they just skip over it to the end. This filler episode seems very rushed and doesn't really seem like the writers were motivated to do any more of it. Maxodon gets Doom Dimension, Bubba is arrested, and Lightning gets a huge plate of bones as a reward. This episode seemed like such a throwaway. The next part is Drago in the Crosshairs. Now, this is actually story relevant here. The Awesome Brothers are live streaming a test of Kazami International's new drone generator. After knocking the drone around to test its durability, Drago wants to see if Bakugan will disappear in it.
If it does look like you're gonna vanish, I'll grab hold of you. I'll follow you to the center of the earth if I have to.
Shakhtar one-shots Drago, and after some very tense suspension, Drago doesn't disappear and instead cracks a cringe joke, meaning that the drone works, though Dan's earlier statement really just foreshadows what will happen in this episode, and it's gotten me worried. Just as everyone was enjoying the new drone system, a Golden Bakugan is causing trouble with Bakugan battles and keeps calling out Drago.
There's something strange on the screen. He says you need to zoom in.
Fourth wall break, everyone. It's funny.
Show yourself, Dragonoid of Hyrule!
The Golden Bakugan is called Spartillion, voiced by Paul San-Young Lee, who is actually an amazing actor who very recently was Captain Carson Teva in The Mandalorian. When Spartillion kept saying Dragonoid of Hyrule, I thought he said Hyrule, which is where Legend of Zelda takes place. I thought they outright took Hyrule from Legend of Zelda. Hyrule sounds pretty similar though. It seems to be an ancient name for Pyrus faction, I'm not really sure. Also, Drago's eyes turn yellow here.
This Golden Bakugan is going around ruining battles, and people think it's the Awesome Brawlers' fault.
Okay, so some random guy is going around harassing brawlers and calling out the Awesome Brawlers, and people are immediately blaming the Awesome Brawlers for it? Seems accurate to the level of intelligence people have on the internet. Spartillion shows up to fight Dragonoid, and he proves to be insanely strong. The battle itself is pretty good. Spartillion reveals he's ordered to defeat Dragonoid by order of the Supreme Council. If you guys remember, it's a council of Golden Bakugan that Pyravian, Goreen, Trino, and Tico are a part of. I wouldn't be surprised if they changed it to be the legendary soldiers of Vestroia, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But what do they want with Drago? What is going on? This leaves a bunch to mystery. Spartillion destroys the drone generator and defeats Drago, but now comes the moment of truth. Drago is going to the Doom Dimension, but Dan, not wanting Drago to leave, goes with him. Where have we seen this before? Oh, that's right, it's the exact same thing they did with the Legacy series before. The only difference is that there's no masquerade, there's no actual emotional depth or personality within doing this. They just rushed into this part without moment's hesitation. And they did this in, what, 7 episodes? But at the very least, now we find out where Bakugan are disappearing to, probably, and what happens to them. At least there's some plot point in there. If it turns out they're going to be reusing the Doom Dimension arc and that's how Nilius gets 3 heads, I'm going to be majorly disappointed. And you'd think the Awesome Brawlers would try to fight Spartillion out of impulse themselves, but no. This was watered down for kids. Nothing cool like that happens here.
Man, literally, I don't want to be one of those people, but if you're pandering to Legacy fans, there's some things missing here.
In the original series, Drago being sent to the Doom Dimension was built up big time. Always alluded to and even had a damper in Dan and Drago's relationship until halfway through the Battle Brawlers season. There was major setup happening so that when it did happen, it would be shocking as well as a huge tragedy. When it happened, Drago said a heartfelt goodbye before succumbing to the glory of death. Adding emotional weight into it was the effect of Dan's disappearance has on his loved ones like his mom as well as the other Battle Brawlers. This one episode alone just made it seem very rushed. What a shocker, Drago got beat by some random character we met not even 7 minutes ago. I get that this season is supposed to be relatively shorter, but this one episode really threw the whole pacing for a loop. I feel barely anything when Drago lost other than just shock, but that's it. They don't even use any kind of flashback scenes to Dan and Drago's time together in this one flashback. It's just going back to when Chad's Bakugan disappeared. And then that's it. The original made me feel like maybe Dan and Drago really are gone for good, because anyone that enters the Doom Dimension can never return. The Battle Brawlers know this and break down because they lost their friends. That was how we, the audience, become so afraid Dan and Drago are lost in the Doom Dimension. Their reactions helped sell the moment. Dan and Drago disappear after a tragic loss in this episode, and the other Awesome Brawlers as well barely even react to it. If the characters can't express any emotion, why should the audience express any emotion? And that is what I feel is majorly lacking on this twist here. The entire time, this entire twist was missing the most crucial element to telling any story, giving us a reason to be invested in the emotion. And yes, I'm not joking, this is the end of the episode. No sadness, no tears, no reaction or emotion whatsoever. Arcleon doesn't even show up in this episode even. Oh wait, I lied, he showed up in a flashback. There was no build up to this moment whatsoever that is deserving of my investment.
So, that was Geogan Rising Episode 7. Let me know what your rating of the show was in the comments down below.
This episode I have some pretty mixed feelings about. The first part was really just filler, and when I read the title I thought they were going to be going after another Geogan or some Mysterious Bakugan or something, but instead it's just solving a cliche crime story. Maybe this could have been the episode they could have had lightning summon a Geogan, but in all honesty, it was really a waste of time. The second part, it did keep the story going. I think Paul's son Yun Li is a great addition to the Bakugan cast as Spartillion, and I do see a lot of potential there, but the main thing that really irked me was the lazy writing they did here. I've said my criticisms and concerns, but overall this here seems like pandering to Legacy fans in the most laziest way possible, which is reusing something that they have already done before, but little effort thrown into it this time. At least we will know what the mystery is with the Bakugan being Doom Dimensioned, but with the rushed writing, they're really not messing around. There was no build up to this, and when you did have the setup, just right there, you didn't capitalize on it. I'd say this episode wasn't really dead on arrival, it was a freaking missed opportunity! So, you know what? I'll give this a high Baku downer. It's just really carving it close to Baku Gear in the middle. Thank you for watching this review of Geogan Rising. Be sure to press the thumbs up and give us a subscribe for more awesome Bakugan content. I've been Haru Ren, and thank God for Rapid Fire. Bye.